Last 2 days have been really interesting. On the Monday, there was a online meeting which almost started at 9 o'clock and went almost up to 5 o'clock. This meeting was not a small meeting; it was a meeting of a national curriculum framework, which is part of the new education policy. And for the developing curriculum framework, there are many national focus groups, and I am part of the national focus group on environment. And under that, there are many state focus groups. So there are hundreds of actually groups working to create a national curriculum framework. What an important exercise it is for the entire country and the future of our future generation. I was really privileged. I am actually privileged to be part of such a committee, especially when I listen to the views of people. And there are many beautiful academicians that have been working throughout their life and developing expertise in their subject area. What a day it was! I really enjoyed. It was chaired by the chair of National Education Policy, Dr. Kasturi Ranjan. Anita Karwar, who is a secretary, was also there. So overall, it was great. My chair of the group was also there. So it was wonderful interaction. Later, some people came to visit from the RV college where we are staying, and overall, the day ended with the planning for the following days. The Tuesday was also very interesting. First of all, there was a program in RV College and it was a full hall. Dinesh introduced me to the audience and he was so happy to do that. He really felt privileged, and that has created a beautiful environment, and I really enjoyed delivering my talk. There were good discussion.
If you look at the
Many
red curve,
students
60
actually
months
visited
average,
the bus
you are talking
after
about
that.
1.2 degree centigrade.
And I believe that in
So
Bangalore,
the entire
RV
planet
College
is
is a very
warmed by
important
1.2 degree centigrade.
action center. In fact, they told that whenever yatra comes to Bangalore, consider RV College as your home, and we really enjoyed our stay there. The second part of the day was even more interesting. We were fortunate enough to get an appointment in Art of Living. My Gurudev, Pujya Shri Ravi Shankar. It was at 5 o'clock, so we went there. We parked our bus, and then at the time we went for the darshan of Gurudev. And it's always a different aura around Gurudev. So when my team and the term came, we went close. I actually sat down on my knees and I addressed Gurudev. I took this sankalpa for 11 years to not go home and live in bus and do this yatra. And he really looked at me, smiled, and more than that, he actually he held my ear. उन्होंने कान पकड़ा और मुस्कुरा के अपने अंदाज में बोले, हाँ, ऐसा करने की ज़रूरत नहीं है, काम होना चाहिए. But many other things he told. He said, every city, every village you go, create volunteers, encourage people to not to take non-veg. He said, when I tell people they don't eat non-veg, people say that, Baba, can say anything. But when professor says about non-veg, I think they will listen carefully. And we had a nice photograph at the end. He gave us prasadam. And as always happens, whenever I go close to Gurudev, something happens, And so once I came out of the hall, I had to sit down for 5 minutes just to absorb that energy that I feel whenever I go close. So what an amazing experience as always. I consider it Gurudev's blessing for the work that I'm doing. After Gurudev's visit, when I came out, somebody approached me and he said, "Are you Professor Solanki?" And he could recognize me. He was working in Accenture. It was great, to be able to recognize by people. And then when we walked towards the Shiva temple, we were so happy to see ex-Chief Justice of India, Bobde ji. And we in fact stayed and started chatting with him. We took photographs and he was so forthcoming. In fact, not only he gave us enough time, but he suggested that he made another Swami who is kind of creating that oil to reduce the carbon emission. In fact, he made a point that I could meet that Swamiji. So what a day it was. And the important aspect of the day was that Guruji, who held my ear with a smile. What a moment that was.